This is me when I was good looking and I had my teeth.
He is the only human being I know of that doesn't know how to cook. All he knows is to punch the popcorn button on the microwave. And it's not funny. You can laugh all you want, but it's not funny.
David, he was going off with the other guys and they were attending the local bars and getting pie-eyed and so forth. So one Saturday, David said, you know, I'm tired of going out to all these places. What do you do with your Saturday nights? I said, I've been going down to the skating rink. There's a lot of pretty girls skating around down there. And he says, you mind if I go with you? And before that, I had met Rita. And we skated good together, and we were just good friends. And David, he couldn't skate. He didn't know how to skate. I found out. He's sitting over in the bleachers, and we're going by him, and he liked Rita. So I introduced them eventually. And boy, did they ever hit it off.
David stayed at the skating rink, and when I came off the floor, he came over and introduced himself to me. And without the help of Billy didn't say this is Rita. Billy thinks he did, but he didn't.
There's a good man to have around.
American fighter planes based in England, operating in the skies of Western Europe against the German Air Force. This is the P-47, the Thunderbolt. The Mustang, the P-51, longest range fighter in the world. Speed, fast climb, quick dive, tight turn. A fighter pilot's dream. And in their single cockpits, it placed its carefully chosen sons, trained to a fighting edge, trained as never before.
They were a little wild, and you say, they call them hot dogs.
361st Group is probably around 900 to 1,000 men, but this includes maintenance and all that stuff. And I always loved to fly. Even as a boy at 5 years old, I wanted to be a pilot. Is he talking?
So when you got in there, everybody knew that you'd been sick.
I forgot about that.
He became a regular member of the police cleanup until my
Oh, David looks so good.
got me aside and he said, Landon, he said, you can fly, but you can't fly and be sick. And he said, unless you want to walk through.
Their main job, although they struck many other blows, was to escort and protect our heavy four-engine bombers, the Big Friends.
Tell me about this plane.
Okay, the plane was built in 1943, if I remember correctly, and it says on the side, Double Trouble. The original pilot's name was Bill Bailey. He had a secret. He left off to fight the war in England, and back in the United States, he had 2 girlfriends, and they didn't know about each other. So that's why he named the airplane Double Trouble. No, don't get excited. We're not going for a ride.
All right.
Go around here.
All right.
And there's a step right here.
Okay.
Put one
Okay.
foot there and you put one hand there.
Okay.
And whatever you do, don't fall.
We had charts, maps of France and places that we would fly if we could get them. And we carried them in the airplane with us in case we went down. We tried to figure out where we were and how we could escape. And then we had a Mae West on. You know what that is? It's something to keep you afloat. You know, it's a life preserver thing. We wore that, and then we put our parachutes on and then strap ourselves in. That was the way we flew.
You knew that when you got in that little cockpit, you may never get back out of it again.
Only you.
And we both came back to the States after we'd stayed in England a year. And I didn't know what happened to David. He disappeared into the Air Force, and I went one way and he went another. And it turned out that eventually we were both signed to Yuma, Arizona. And one day he called me, he said, Billy, he says, I got Rita's coming out here. She's gonna get on a troop train. And he says, I don't know what I'm gonna do with her, but we're gonna get married. Well, I'm the only fighter pilot in World War II history that was ever a bridesmaid.
We were all having families, or all of the guys were getting married and going back to their home states, started planning trips together every year. We had always had a big crowd, and of course, as the years went by, it got to be a small crowd. Kind of went down to 12 people, 6 guys and their wives. They started calling us the Dirty Dozen because we got to do all the fun things. It was a brotherhood, it really was, and I always felt welcome, yes.
Memories remain, and every dawn I awake.
You're 94 now, and you're the last living member of
That
the
I know
squadron.
of.
How does that feel?
I don't know how to answer that question.
You, only you.
I like to tell this story. We were in formation on a mission, my 80th mission, and my engine started acting up. And at that time, we had to fly with fuel in our drop tanks under the wings. And what happened, we burned the fuel out of those tanks, and when they were low on fuel, we'd switch to internal tanks in the airplane. And I got busy doing something else, and I'd forgotten to switch. I began to lose power, and I had to drop out of the formation. And my wingman, who was on my right wing, he stayed with me to see what was going to happen. Well, we got down to about 10,000 feet. I'm letting down, hoping to get across the North Sea back into England, because we were over enemy territory. And I remember unstrapping myself, the straps, and unhooking my oxygen bottle, and I started to slide the canopy open so I could bail out. I remember saying, "Oh Lord, not now." But I had said a little prayer, and I didn't even realize it at the time. I just said, "Oh Lord, not now. Only got a few hours to go before I finish." And do you know that engine started running? It never missed another beat. I got my power back, and about that time we were over Brussels in Belgium, big city that the Germans had, and they started shooting at us from the ground. Flak was coming up all over the place, and my wingman went that way and I went that way to get out of the anti-aircraft fire, and we flew home. And that engine never missed another beat. They couldn't find anything wrong with the airplane. They ran it up, said there's nothing wrong with the airplane. But I think the good Lord answered my prayer. And I believe that to this day. That's my favorite war story.